Hey guys, welcome back once again to the Forbidden Zone. Just thought I'd throw a quick video up since it's a little bit more user friendly in here now. I meant to do this a while back, but obviously I've been busy, with this reclamation and reorganization process. I was recently here in the last couple 3 months was the recipient of a couple of great acts of kindness by two great YouTubers. First from my buddy Erik K and from another YouTube buddy of mine, Brian Mski361. Uh, Brian's got a great channel, got great content, great collection. Still waiting on Erik to show his face, but he says it's coming, so we'll see. First, I want to show you what Erik sent me. Those of you that followed the Comic Buyer's Guide, and I was one of those guys. I had a subscription to it, and it came in every week. And there was a article that was in there like every week by a guy named Mr. Silver Age, Craig Shutt or Shoot, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But Erik gifted me this, and it's called Baby Boomer Comics: The Wild, Wacky, Wonderful Comic Books of the 1960s by Mr. Craig Silver Age Shutt. And it's just a great book. I've read it all the way through once, and I've been thumbing through it again ever since. Just lots of uh, great goofy stuff from the 1960s, Marvel and DC. A lot of great comic covers and comic panels. Just a lot of great stories. Quirky comics, trivia. There's a great Neil Adams Superboy cover. Just some really great stuff. I had a ball reading this, and so Erik, I want to thank you very much for this. I really appreciate it, and I'll probably be thumbing through it again later on. The second one is from my buddy Brian Mski361. I think Brian and I started following each other like right off the bat when we first got on YouTube, and somehow we kind of lost touch for a while, or we were kind of in and out with each other. I'm not really sure what happened. But got a great channel, a lot of great content, great collection. He's a big Captain America guy and Kirby and that kind of stuff. But he had shown a haul, and he showed a Jack Kirby book that he'd found at Ollie's, and it was called The Marvel Legacy of Jack Kirby. And it was a pretty nice book in a slipcase and everything. Well, that's pretty cool. And once he told me he found it at Ollie's, I said, well, I'm going to try to find one of those, So I checked a couple of Ollie's, but they didn't have it around here. And so he asked me later on if I'd found one. I said, no. And he said, well, I'll send you one. I said, well, just give me your info, so I can send money via PayPal or whatever. And he said, no, don't worry about it. So he actually went out and got me a copy and sent it to me free of charge. Marvel Legacy of Jack Kirby. And it's like an old slipcase. Got some great Kirby art front and back. And to me, this is just like the book Ari got me. And it's kind of funny. He and I were texting each other earlier today and talking about Amazing World of DC Comics. For those of you that are familiar with that fanzine, and there was always a section called Direct Currents where it showed what was coming out, and it would show the covers and like what date and who the artists were and all that. And it was just like one of the best things about the book. But that and this and the Baby Boomer book is just like a catalog of stuff that I probably can't afford. So, other like in reprint, but I mean, it's got all Kirby's classic Fantastic Four, Thor, Avengers, all that stuff. Just a beautiful book. So I want to say a big thank you to Erik and Brian for those. Really appreciate it. They will not leave my collection. And I was going through and kind of reintegrating some books, just a couple stacks I had left. And I'd forgotten that I'd went to the comic shop a couple of weeks ago, and I went through the dollar boxes. And there was another book that I'd bought at Walmart, actually. a while back, and I hadn't shown it yet. Excuse me. Get a drink of water. But the book I found at Walmart, and I'm sure a lot of you know, they've been selling 100-page DC Giants and like reprinting a lot of stuff. And I got really excited because I thought they might be reprinting like classic stuff, you know, from the 60s and 70s. And I bought several, and then most of it was like from like the last 10 or 15 years, so I wasn't really impressed because I was a big fan of the 100-pagers. But I found one that I was really interested in, and I'm glad I got it. From Beyond the Unknown. Of course, this was one of my favorite titles in my collection, the old DC sci-fi reprint series from the 60s and 70s. And this actually does have a couple of reprints like from the 70s. And several reasons I got it. It had like the reprint of DC Comics Presents with Superman and Adam Strange, with Garcia Lopez art. It's got a new Commandy story. So that hooked me right there. Anything Commandy, I'm going to jump all over it. And it also has a new Legion of Superhero story and art by Dan Jurgens, like featuring like the classic Legion of the 70s and 80s. A brand new story in that, so it was pretty cool. And also, it's got a reprint of Brave and Bold 113. That was a 100-pager, and it had Batman teaming up with the Metal Man. And of course, that was one of those Bob Haney, Jim Aparo jobs. So this is well worth the I guess the $5 that I paid for it. I don't buy much new stuff nowadays, but I really like this one. Like I said, I went through the dollar box in my local comic shop and actually found some pretty decent books. A couple I know I already had, but for $1 I couldn't pass them up, and they were probably actually upgrades from what I had. These first two I did not have. Got Defenders number 113, and it features a Squadron Supreme, which is one of my favorite groups in comics, and the Defenders, which is a favorite title. So I'm probably going to have to get the other issue or two that this story goes with. Like I say, it's just a reading copy. It's got a nice little spine roll on it and all that, but you know, for $1, every time. Some more Marvel Bronze Age, Marvel 2-in-1, number 60, featuring The Thing and the Impossible Man, with art by George Perez. So, yeah, all day long for $1. And the last two, I know for sure I have one, and I'm probably got the other one too, but picked them up anyway. Action Comics 458, Superman versus Blackrock. And it's got a Green Arrow, Black Canary backup by Elliot Maggin and Mike Grell, so another reason to pick this one up. This is actually in really good shape. So, you know, if you can get Bronze Age books for $1. And the other one is Action Comics 462. Superman versus who? I'm not sure what that character's name is. It's Carbrack or something like that. But like I said, more DC Bronze Age for $1. You know, it's hard to pass it up. All right, guys, that's all I got. Like I say again, a big thank you to Eric and to Brian for gifting me those books. Very appreciative, and I will see you guys soon. Onward and upward.